Hey y'all, it's Kim. So this is a video that actually Mike Benz, I'm not sure if you guys know who he is. He's a pretty good analyst. He knows a lot of things about a lot of stuff, especially State Department related and all that. And just anyway, he put this clip up of this guy that worked for the State Department, I guess, in the consulate in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, I think. Anyway, he's going on record on this video in the DC Bureau, whoever this is, to basically just say that he, I think, gave 15 of the 19 9/11 hijackers their passports or visas. I was like, oh my goodness. But anyway, let's go ahead and let this play. I just thought it was kind of interesting that, yeah, yeah, see right here it says Michael Springmann thought he was working for the State Department at the American Consulate in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. According to Springmann, the CIA was running or really running the show for all but two or three employees at the consulate from 1987 through 1989. He tells us that his supervisor, Consul General J. Freres, demanded that he issue visas to unqualified candidates. Springmann says when he denied visas to people unable to show any ties to their home country, Justice Stevens or Freres would quickly overrule his decision. Springmann says that he later discovered these individuals being sent to the U.S. for training and onward assignment to Afghanistan, where they were to fight Soviet soldiers. Okay, so it was before 9/11. Excuse me. I thought he said that, but I was thinking that either Mike said it or this other guy was talking about it, that he issued visas to some of the people from the 9/11. So anyway, let's let this play. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike, but you know how it is. I'm giving them credit, so.
Michael Springmann is here at DC Bureau to share his employment experience at the State Department from 1987 to 1989. Springmann issued visas in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. According to Springmann, he soon found out that most Americans at the consulate were actually with the CIA, not the State Department. Springmann says his boss, the American Consul General J. Freres, demanded that he grant visas for people who wouldn't normally qualify. Visa candidates are supposed to be able to show motivation to return to their home country.
And I had been part of a program to issue visas under questionable circumstances to a variety of people who had no ties either to their own country or to Saudi Arabia. It was really a program to recruit and train terrorists to come to the United States for training and then be sent back to Afghanistan for use in the war against the then Soviet Union. And part of the mix was Osama bin Laden, who was then working for the CIA as an asset to recruit people from all over the Middle East and North Africa and South Asia. People coming to me like Jay Freres, Henry Ensher, the political officer, supposedly, and others saying, well, you know, it's your decision, of course, Mike, but, you know, we've got this guy who's a good contact, and we really need a visa for him. And you can refuse it if you want. Well, after a couple of months of this, it was issue the visa or else. Why did you deny this guy a visa? What is wrong with you? Don't you understand what's going on here? But by and large, these were folks that, like the King's Secretary's barber, who've been in the country for a couple of months and suddenly wanted to go to the United States. Or two Pakistanis who were going to a trade show in the United States but couldn't name the trade show or the city where it was located. Other people I refused, you know, aside from the odd nurse and whatever, Chinese and Japanese and Filipino who wanted to come to the United States and get a job the minute they got off the airplane. By and large, the people had low-level jobs. They were, you know, clerks in a grocery store. They worked at a gas station. They couldn't explain what they were doing here. I mean, in Saudi Arabia. They had no real reason for going to the United States. An Afghan, I remember one time, he wanted to go to New York because of his money. I said, that's no reason for going to the United States.
To visit his money?
I didn't know what brand of Islam they practiced, but figuring that they came from Saudi Arabia, which is dominated by the Wahhabis. Like the Wahhabis, you know, it's pretty much like you know, the Puritans of 17th century Britain, that they, you know, didn't hold with drinking, dancing, gambling, and anything else. So, what is this? What's going on? She says, well, Jay Freres just likes to give candy to babies. Freres had been recruited or part of the CIA when he would have been assigned to Kabul, Afghanistan. And I thought it was very strange that Freres was a driving force behind this visas program. So I learned that I was a minority in the consulate. There were only 3 people that I knew of, including myself, that were truly State Department Foreign Service officers or employees of the State Department.
What the heck?
The rest, they work for the CIA, they work for the National Security Agency. Once, Justice Stevens issued a visa to a Sudanese who was a refugee from the Sudan in Saudi Arabia and was unemployed in Saudi Arabia. And Karen Sasahara, Henry Encher's successor, who I'm pretty sure worked for the agency, said, well, we need him. And I said, well, why? He can't explain why he's going to America. And if he's unemployed here, what's going to bring him back? He has no job. Well, we need him. I kept refusing. So Justice Stevens issued the visa. And I saw him in the corridor in the main building. And I said, Justice, what was the reason for giving this guy the visa? National security. It got to the point
National
where
security.
people would come to the window with a stack of passports from the company they work for and say, well, we want these visas. And I said, well, I don't know. It depends on their qualifications and so on. Well, you can issue the visa now or later on when Jay Freres tells you to. What's it going to be? I got a notice in the mail saying that my appointment at the State Department was being terminated because I just didn't measure up. And I talked to the people, Travis Moran, who said, well, I had a personality conflict with the Consul General. And the Inspector General's office couldn't be bothered either. I went to the Government Accounting Office, which is now the Government Accountability Office, and they had an office at State, and they couldn't be bothered.
Wow. So he's now working as a lawyer here in Washington. He maintains that he doesn't have answers from the State Department, Jay Freres, or Henry Encher to this day. Corruption, I tell you. Okay, it just says extremely important video. And then poor chap must be under CIA threat for his initial video, America, Israel, and Sea Alliance. Let's see what this reply is. Where can I find the initial video? Well, I may look into this guy some more, but it is interesting that they were giving this stuff out to people that were unqualified. But that's our governments for you. And I will suggest a book. I've suggested it before. Hopefully you can see that. The Legacy of Ashes by Tim, I guess it's Weiner. I don't know how you say it. History of the CIA. This book, and then The Devil's Chessboard is another good one that just talks about how the CIA did a lot of underhanded things. They had information on stuff that could have helped people during the Holocaust. I mean, there was all kinds of things. But anyway, that's the spooks for you. But anyway, I got a bunch of stuff I want to look into. But I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day. Bye.